welcome to today's very special episode where we dive into the transformative power of gratitude, gains and appreciation with Martine Pronk, the GGA queen, and you'll learn how simple daily practices can change your life. So stay tuned, check out this episode. Hey there, it's Katie Joy, founder of theglobalbutterfly.com and the Awaken with Love and Rise with Pure Joy podcast. Today I have a very special episode. It is with Martine Pronk. She has been a client of mine and she absolutely put into practice the GGA, which is gratitude, gains and appreciation method. Now, she's done this for now over 1,000 days straight. So she's got a few words to share and a few experiences that will totally benefit. Plus, there's some fun banter in this interview, this episode. So enjoy. Stick with me right through to the end, and then you'll get an opportunity to be advised about the launch of the Gratitude Gains Appreciation Journal. In fact, there's more than one. There's a whole bunch of them in the series. Stay tuned. Enjoy. Hello.
Hello.
Wow, it's so awesome to see you again. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm amazing. Lots and lots and lots of good things happening, especially with the I don't know, yeah, I think you did see it, but my GGA Journals coming out. We're doing the final edit on that.
Nice.
Yeah, so I thought it's really good timing to be able to catch up with you, and because you set the record with publicly in the, well, not public, but you know, in the group environment where every single day you stuck with the GGA method, doing that every single day. And I'd love to ask you some questions around that, just to share your experience. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Awesome. So why don't you just start with just introduce yourself for the video and then tell us a bit about your background, like how you came to know about the GGA method with me.
All right.
Brief background, brief.
All right, here we go. Hi, I'm Martine. GGA background. Through Katie's program, which one was it? Like
the first foundational program is the Awakened Soul program, and then I take you into that. I get you introduce that to you once a week, and with the daily intuitive journal, and then in Soul Goal Academy, I start introducing it on an every single day. Yeah, and then
yes.
Light Leadership Academy. That's where you get challenged to do it for a year.
And it's now been 3 years.
So hang on, wait, you've gone nearly 1,000 days or over 1,000 days now?
Probably, actually. I'd say so.
That's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. Well,
because it must have been 2021.
Yep. And you know, well, let me ask you this, because the GGA is the Gratitude Gains Appreciation method that I have that helps you you know, really focus on seeing, you know, I call it spinning the poop into gold, right? But it's all about like shifting your frequency, shifting your vibration, helping you with the transformation of mental thinking, moving forward and celebrating those little progressive steps, as well as, you know, really, you know, helping you with health and well-being. Would you say that's accurate with the benefits plus more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I remember you came through my very first program, and I'm not going to go into big detail here, but the core challenge and the core goal that you had was around a relationship goal.
Yes.
Specifically around conflict and finances, and you know, that's enough said. And you had one idea of the goal.
Yes.
Like, I want to do it this way. And it was kind of like you thought you'd bring peace into your life doing it that way. And I intuited my way into your energy field, and I said, well, given that you've got these elements, let's call that elements going on in your life, I want to make sure this, you know, this is a safe space for you and those in your life. So there were elements that I was coming from a bigger picture. You were coming from the safety picture, like the surviving picture. And I'm like, how can we get to the thriving here and the holistic experience? And I remember suggesting to you a different goal to give you a bigger outcome. And I think you swore at me.
Probably, yes, most likely.
Like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And I said, look, let me challenge you on this one and give it a go. And you accepted that challenge. And it
Yes.
worked out really well, didn't it?
Worked out really, really well. And it's still working out really well.
That's awesome. Awesome. So why don't we ask, why don't we go here? What, because you were you came at me with resistance and acceptance. You were willing to give it a go with the not just the gratitude gains appreciation method or GGA method, but like all the elements that I give you. But would you agree that the GGA is the centerpiece of everything?
Yeah, yes, it does really, really help.
Yeah. I can tell the hesitation because there's a lot of tools that I bring to the table, but there's that one common thread where the GGA, if you don't have that, then all the tools can just, be on the bench and they're tools. Yeah, right. Whereas the GGA helps with the actual transformative process. What challenges would you say you had? This is going to, have some recall in the beginning to apply the GGA. What was your biggest challenge around that?
Sort of coming up with things. But now because even with gains, I'm like 3 gains in a day. It's like, it's in a way, it's so hard. Like, what did I gain? But then you can gain so many things, even if it doesn't always have to be positive, but it still adds to an experience. If that makes sense.
100%. Yeah, and I get it. And you know what? I'm going to pull something that happened just today. You've been in my world to know that there's always these amazing moments that like just happen in the most divine time to share experiences. Something that happened today. My son, who was at, let's just call it a sports place. I don't want any identification here. It was all resolved out well, but it was the GGA method that helped me handle a situation. And so there was an incident at the place with a little girl who had allegedly been bitten. And this young 5-year-old girl in the mix of all these kids of all ages pointed the finger at my son, saying it was him. And no one actually asked him. They just accused him and then called me to follow up. And I'm like, this is odd. He's never bitten anyone. He knows that's not acceptable. Anyway, the situation, it could have been handled better. It ultimately was handled well with an apology, because while he was extricated from the group, another girl was bitten in the group. So they realized, well, it couldn't have been B. Right? And I had stood my ground because I'd listened to him and he was really distraught, confused and accused. And I said to him, listen, I believe you. Let's work this out. And while I was trying to work it out, they were waiting for parents to get involved and whatnot. In the meantime, they realized he was not actually culpable, but they had gone straight into you're guilty mode. They didn't actually qualify it. And that's okay. It happens. You know what? Working with human beings, it's not easy. Working with children, definitely not easy. Right? So have compassion. And what I ended up, not worry about the rest of the stuff that happened there, that got resolved, but specifically with my son, and I teach him this GGA method, I acknowledged, hey, look, it wasn't very fun being accused of that today. I hear you, I see you, I feel you. So you're going through that experience. And then I said, what's really great about this is that they've realized how honest you are, because you were honest to them and to me. They didn't believe you just because, and a lot of kids and quite frankly adults won't tell the truth because they're afraid of the consequences. My son has been trained and taught to always be honest. And in fact, like, the consequences are less severe because he's honest. You know what I mean? Like, he still gets consequences, but he just knows that he's not. He knows it's better to tell the truth. Anyway, I said to him, look, you get to have your people realize the quality of your character now more than ever. And because of that situation. So there's an example of, it doesn't have to be a good thing, and you can still look for the gratitude, the gains, and the appreciation. He gained stature, responsibility, leadership in the eyes of the coaches as well as myself. I mean, I knew it, and I like to be the inquirer, and I'm in tune with the energy of, like, what's being said, what's not being said, and what's the truth, what's not the truth. And I'm pretty good at detecting it. You know that. Yeah, that's just playing off an example. And I took the heat off you a bit. I did want to go dive deep and explain one of those situations for you. So I shared one of mine for you in that moment. You're like, thank you, Katie.
But in the end, it can be anything, like just even disappointment because I run out of milk or something stupid. It's still a bit, and then acknowledging that and then moving on, mainly.
Awesome. How has that approach, now that with that mindset approach, how has that shifted your experience of yourself and life on the everyday?
Well, I pretty much enjoy myself every day. Like, it's I think I'm in a pretty good space. Like, I enjoy what I do. And you don't get drawn into drama and all that sort of stuff. Like, it's like, yeah, nah.
Just
not doing this.
You really protect your own energy when you realize how you can master and control it, yeah? And then you're like, no one's going to mess with my peace field.
Stay away with that drama.
No, for sure. Well, why don't you share your routine? Because there's a couple of ways. I always, like, here's the method, but some people like to do it first thing in the morning. Some people like to do it at night, or mentally witness themselves running it throughout the day. How do you use the GGA method? What's your preference?
I usually do it at night before I go to bed, although there's been a couple of times where I was in bed and I'm like, oh God, and then I get up and do it anyway. I'm like, oh no, I can't save it for tomorrow.
Good.
And then during the day, sometimes there's things where I'm like, oh, I need to remember this. I need to remember, so I can have it as an gratefulness or appreciation. Or so during the day you find little things.
So you're mentally witnessing, you're aware of yourself going, oh, I'm paying attention to this. This is part of my GGA. I'm grateful, or I've got a little win, or I really appreciate this. It might be something like, I appreciate the smile that stranger just gave me. That really lifted me up, because in a moment when I just felt a little bit flat.
And you notice little things more, I think. And just nice people and nice things, and then being able to do more nice things yourself. Like, as before, if you see a homeless person, you're just like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And now I'm like, hi, how are you, blah blah blah. And then just do be kind to people as well. It helps.
You're finding it's bringing out the best version of yourself?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Not always, but
more often.
Mostly.
You're aware of the practice.
Yes.
And you're witnessing that you're attracting more of the good stuff, like more, because you're seeing more of the things you're grateful, so you attract more great things to be grateful for. You notice the wins, so you develop an evidence stack of the wins instead of looking at the gap all the time and thinking, oh, I'm not done yet. It's like, but look what I have.
Yes. Yeah. It's mostly the positives, although sometimes you get stuck on little things, but mostly, but then I can add that as a gain, and then it's out of my system again.
Yeah.
Onto the next grateful
That's so awesome. And with I love that you're doing the GGA practice at night before going to bed, and that like you're like, oh my God, I haven't done it tonight. I'm gonna get up and before turn the light back on, and I'm gonna fill out my GGA. Here's my favorite reason why I always encourage at nighttime. It's great to start the day as a practice because it sets that reticular activating nervous system, or reticular activating system. So essentially part of your nervous system. So you're paying attention throughout the day and looking for the things to be grateful for, appreciate, and the wins, the gains. But at nighttime also, the reason, here's the science behind it, and the reason why I love it is because when you have that as that thought before you go to bed, you shift your energy into feeling really good and focused on those things instead of going to bed ruminating on how am I going to pay these bills, or worse, the unresolved conflict that you're now fighting with someone else in your head, right? Either of those options are going to be played now for the next 8 to 10 hours while you sleep. Which one's better?
The nice, the grateful one.
Focusing on what you're grateful for and appreciate. Yeah, you're going to have better quality sleep. You're going to, and as creating that as a habit, it then just accentuates the practice and the mastery of looking for and witnessing and being aware of all the things you're grateful for and appreciate, and the gains that you've made. Because it is true, in the beginning it's a little clunky and hard to know what to be grateful for. You're like, oh God, 3 more things today. I came up with 3 yesterday. I'm done. But the thing is, we tend to typically get so conditioned and in the fear mode of lack and what's not enough, and the perfection cycle and the people pleasing cycle, and instead, when we train the brain to look at what we're grateful for, the gains we've made, including the lessons we've learned, like even the example I just gave you with my son, there's lessons in everything. What can you get out of a messy situation? What can you take as a valuable component to move forward and appreciate and be grateful for and witness as a gain? And then, it's just so valuable to do that. And so I'm really, 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 really pleased to hear that you you commit to getting out of bed and filling out that GGA method for yourself. That's amazing. What's been, and you've done it on your own accord now for what, 3 years? That's 1,000 days. I think you have the record, right?
Hey.
Yeah. Martine Pronk is the GGA queen, right?
Yes, but it's also the small things. Like, it's not even big things. It's just the small things as well, and big things. But big things don't always happen. Small things always do.
Right. There is so many more stackable evidence of things every single day that if you pay attention, you can feel good by witnessing what they are. But if we only wait until the big things happen, then we're putting all our power into things that might not eventuate, or to out there later on. And in the meantime, I'm going to feel pretty crappy. Well, that's a terrible way to live. It's not fun.
No.
Right? It's much more fun to be feeling good. And when we feel good, we attract more good. And we bring out the best version of ourselves. We be that best version. Therefore, we're operating in that frequency. Who in your life has benefited from the GGA practice? Directly and indirectly. And you don't have to say specific names.
Well, probably my kid.
Yeah.
Probably more relaxed and trying to find the positives, and also if stuff happens in her life that we can sort of work it out, and also like telling the truth and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, and then who else? I don't know, probably my friends.
About your daughter, because you did say she, so I'm going to say your daughter. Do you catch her saying things that she's grateful for and appreciating the gains? Do you see her modeling the GGA?
I do see her. Sometimes she writes them down, but yeah. that it's not heaps, but and a little while ago I saw her little book, and then she's like, I'm grateful for my mum and dad. I'm like,
Nice, right? So
yay.
nice. That's
So yeah,
um
and people around me, people that I work with, and also, yeah, not, I don't know, just staying clear of drama, that makes a
thing.
big difference.
Yeah, definitely. So you would say that would be the big noticeable difference since doing the GGA is being detached from all the drama and more peace in your life?
Yeah, not that I was a drama queen as such, but
No.
sometimes you get carried away in things, and I don't do that as much or hardly ever.
Awesome.
I mean, sometimes it's nice to have a bit of a, whinge about stuff and but then not
It's
for
pretty
that
limiting,
long.
isn't it? I mean, it's one of those things. I kind of felt good in the moment, but now I don't feel so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I love hearing that your daughter is writing down the GGA as well, because it's become such a huge practice in our community that everybody loves, and they realize when they get it, they get it. They're like, oh my God, and it's so easy, like once you get into the practice of it. And I've been asked so many times, like, because I'm always encouraging sharing it with your friends and your family and your community, because then that's going to support you in your ecosystem when everybody's vibrating and operating at a high level. So hasn't been publicly announced yet, but as we do this video recording, guess what? We've got the kids GGA.
Oh, wow.
And there's a teens
How
one coming
cool.
too. And there's a teens one. So there you go. And
Awesome.
yes, I know. They've got a whole series coming out. So that's pretty exciting. And what I wanted to ask was, there was a question here. I wrote it down. How do you, well, before I get to that one, because we're talking about the GGA, it's impacting your, oh, that's what I was going to ask. I knew I wrote a keyword. I'm like, I couldn't quite remember what it's triggering, but now I do. When you came through the Awakened Soul program and you started your journey with me, it was right through when the whole world was in transition, being turned inside out, upside down. So how did the GGA method, or the gratitude gains appreciation method that I encouraged you to cultivate and practice, how did that help you handle that stress?
I think it kind of made me feel a bit calmer and made me feel like that I made a choice that I was really, there was no doubt, like that was the right choice, so to say. And then from that, lots of stuff happened, but then still being able to see all the positives, and it gave me, I think, faith that everything was going to work out somehow, and maybe not the way I expected it or I wanted it, but in the end it did, and kind of the way I hoped. But it was also kind of letting go of everything that was, and then kind of accept the way things were gonna be. That kind of makes sense.
You felt more calm, more centered, and you had more clarity to be tapped into your knowing, your intuition. And so you had faith that even though, okay, I'm kind of setting these goals, but they're limited to the capacity of what I know now. So I'm okay with it being that or something better, and it's not going to turn out necessarily the way I expect, but I know it will work out well for me. Did I sum that up?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yes.
Excellent. What would you say to someone who is brand new to or even if you said this to the first the version of yourself back then, right? Because a lot of people who are now watching this, they're going to be introduced to GGA for the first time. I've been sharing for the last few months as we're modeling these books, getting them ready for release, or the journals. And it's just greeted and met with so much enthusiasm, even from people who've just never heard of what I do or been in my world. But what would you say to somebody who would like, what would you say about using the GGA method and how it can help them?
You just I found for me, like you just started looking for all the positives, like you just like, oh, what am I grateful for today? Oh, there's this, there's that, there's this. Oh, that's more than three in the end. So you just look for things and then it all will all come, even if it's just grateful to have a little bit of sunshine when you drink your coffee in the morning, or, you know, grateful that your socks are dry on the washing line type thing. It's just all these little things.
It really shifts your mind from all the stuff we typically take for granted to paying attention and noticing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know my background is being a paramedic, and during my career with that, I also was married, and that was a learning curve. my spiritual boot camp. And there was a lot of drama and a lot of quite frankly a lot of deception and manipulation, and so I had a lot of those things that were in my brain a lot. And then I'm going to work and I'm dealing with people who are dead and dying on the day, or they're in some trauma or medical emergency. And I realized, for me back then, this is quite a while ago now, that when I would wake up in the morning, even if I started to be concerned about my own problems, I realized the first habit I started to make, and it came from gratitude. It was just say thank you, because I knew I was alive. Even though I had some problems to deal with, and some of them were big, I knew that some people weren't going to wake up that day. I knew that some people were going to kiss their partner goodbye and head off to work and never make it and never breathe again because of some trauma or some medical mishap on the way. And so to me, waking up and having another breath, that was just deep gratitude for me. So I'd say thank you. So that's one of my daily rituals. And so that's where, a big part of it comes from. And so it's a really powerful thing. You seek and find all those little things. And it really helps you recognize the depth of gratitude you have for everything you already have, including the people and the experiences in your life. And instead of looking at what's not working and what's the problem, which is all a victim mindset anyway, and it doesn't say, well, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's very self-limiting, right?
Yes.
Very self-limiting. And when we move into a different energy field that is resonant with gratitude, and we're focused on our progress, not perfection, and we start celebrating that in other people as well, and then also focusing on what and who we appreciate, including ourselves and our own experiences. Yeah.
Yes, yourself, people around you, just, I don't know, little things, cup of tea, reading a book, all that sort of
Definitely
little things.
And you mentioned that your daughter is, she writes her GGA. I actually wrote this one with my son in mind, but also with all everybody else's children in mind. But a couple of months ago, on the way home from soccer on one Sunday, my son is very compassionate, very empathetic, and I'm very proud to say he models all these tools that I teach as well. He's a truly remarkable with these skills. But to hear him just sigh in the back seat with this, and I'm like, what's going on? He goes, Mum, I'm just so grateful we have a car and a warm home, and I just feel so deeply for those that are homeless today, because it was raining. And I was just like, wow, there's that GGA being modeled, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's raising good humans. humans
Yes.
who care, who are compassionate, and being of service to others, at least thinking and being considerate of others as well, especially at that age. So
Mhm.
thank you for being so committed to your practice, and thank you for doing that,
Thank
because not
you.
just for you, clearly it's impacting your family, it's adding value,
Mm.
and your friends and your family would recognize those shifts. Has anyone ever made a comment to you about your energy being different?
Not so much. I don't know.
Yep. I know
Not as such, but then I find that, yeah, what do I find? That
inner peace.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that people just don't mind being around me, I guess.
You've always been a very pleasant personality. And, the thing that quite a few people will probably resonate with you is that you're very pleasant with your personality. And in the past, too much people pleaser. Balance that now. Right? But when you're a people pleaser in the past, it comes at the sacrifice of inner conflict. So it lacks peace.
Yes.
And so because you've now got the balance with all the tools that you learned in the Awaken Soul program, Soul Goal Academy, Love Light Leadership Academy, but with GGA at the centerpiece, it literally gives you that peace within, so that you're not kind of one forward facing personality and then you're hiding this element of yourself that feels really kind of negative and upset and angry and trying to deal with it all on your own. It's just not there anymore. That energy is being discharged.
Yes.
Yeah.
But then also be able to ask people for things, and then also if they say, "Oh, sorry, I can't do that," you're like, "Cool,
Let it go.
no problem." Like it's
Excellent.
fine.
Yeah. Because if we ask and we expect, we're not asking, we're demanding.
And then the same thing, like if I could help someone and it all works out, then definitely yes. But if it just doesn't work out, then sorry, I can't. And then
Chain implemented boundaries.
so be it. And
Beautiful.
then not having that expectation of people, like where you want, well, it would be nice if they said yes, but if they don't, like then cool.
Yeah.
That's been an appreciation as well, like someone telling me, no, I can't look after your kids. Like, thank you
Yeah.
for saying no. Like if it doesn't work for you,
100%.
brilliant.
What you state there is just such a beautiful level of growth and amazing and awesome, and just if anyone's just really caught what Martine just said there, that's a turning point for people. When you can ask and you can appreciate when someone implements their no, you're not obligating them, but that also comes with this, Martine, because in the past you used to always say yes to everybody's requests. Yes.
A lot.
Yes. A lot of people resonate with this, right? A lot of people resonate with this. But you'd say yes, but underneath, here's that pleasant forward facing, and underneath you were resentful, right? And this isn't you, or is it the people watching? This is a program. And when we run that program, what happens is we sabotage. So we'll cancel last minute, or we'll be late, or we will do it, but we will do it with a sense of obligation, and we'll make sure that other person knows, right? Or it gets stacked. But then also it comes back to this, when you said you never used to be good at asking for help, but now you're better at asking for help. But when you're not good at asking for help, you take on so much, and then you erupt like a volcano and explode. That's not Martine, that's the program, right? Because I'm sure a few people are giggling. And so a couple of the keys here is that learning to ask for help without attachment to a yes. But that also, and that permission gives people permission, and you to feel great and not obligated to say yes. It also comes, it's done really elegantly with the communication skills I taught you in the Awaken Soul program, right? But the other side of that too is that you get better at saying no to other people when it's not going to work for you. And so those healthy boundaries create this energy field where you feel good about yourself instead of all this negative energy, this resentment and stuff that sucks your energy. And then you focus on lack, and then you focus on what you're stuck in, and you're resentful because like, oh, I said yes, I was going to do this to help somebody else, and that doesn't feel good, and now I can't do my thing to build my dream, and now it's their fault. Right? That whole conversation is, well, the common one, but it's not a useful one, right?
No. And that's another thing, like taking responsibility for your own actions. Because sometimes when I, even at my daughter, I'm like, and then later on I'll go over to her. I say, oh, sorry, mummy wasn't at her best behavior. Like, and
how amazing are you? And what modeling that is, right? And this is, I want to grab this one, because so many people are stuck in their ego and they won't apologize and own their stuff. What you just did was take radical responsibility. You're being human. You're shortening the refractory period when you're in that space. You're going, oh, hang on, I overstepped. I'm going to take responsibility for it. You apologize, and you're communicating what's going on for you. So especially your little one, kids internalize everything as their fault. And adults still do the same because they haven't emotionally developed the skills to be able to discern the difference yet, right? And so by you taking that approach, you're demonstrating an important skill: how to apologize, how to take radical responsibility, how to communicate effectively without going, I'm sorry, but you should do this next time.
Yeah. But your socks are still in the living room.
It's like, hey, and I get it. I'm not on a pedestal. I always say to all my clients all the time, like, if you put me on a pedestal, I'm going to knock myself off, because I can be like a volcano too. But it takes a lot longer for me to get there. And I'm much better at managing the energy before it ever gets there anymore. And then if I have a moment, the time I'm in it is small compared to years past when it would be weeks, months. Some people, unfortunately, are still caught in these cycles decades later, right?
Yeah.
Deep compassion, because it's a pretty unpleasant place to be in, and everybody else is at the effect of such behavior, but that person is in their own suffering if they're in that place.
Yeah. And then I feel it comes back to me as well, like, 'cause sometimes she's very grumpy or whatever, and then later on she would come to me, sorry, I was grumpy, mummy. And I'm like, that's a flavor, all grumpy, and thank you for saying that. Like, it's amazing. And like, you're only 11 and you're already like, that is, you go, girl.
You empowered mama. You're empowering your daughter. Look at that. That's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah. And, these are skills that truly help people through adversity, help people have more resilience, help people succeed in whatever area in life, because when you can harness and master your energy, that not just your mindset, because your mindset affects your body. Your hormones are, they're signaled by the neurotransmitters of your brain, your thoughts. So if you're constantly focused on negative thinking, or what you lack, or what you haven't progressed forward with, where you're still stuck, or what's not working, or why you don't appreciate something or someone, or maybe if you're just neutral, then, that all has an impact on your physicality, which then just creates this loop. And if you're not aware how that whole process works, you can just be affected by your mood instead of letting your mindset manage your mood.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you're giving your daughter an incredible skill. And that's why I constantly tell everybody,
GGA
every day. Hashtag GGA every day, right?
Yes.
So, look, I'm so pleased. Any other moments from the GGA that you want to share?
Oh no, my daughter, before she goes to bed, like if she wants me to sit with her or whatever, Mum, did you do your gratefulness?
Love it?
Like, not yet, or yes, I did.
Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome. And there's some extra goodies that I'm bringing out with the. I've got the kids cover, so the kids cover is coming out. So the kids journal is coming out. So is the main one. This is my author copy at the moment, doing the final edits, going to and updating. It's all coming out this month, July 22nd July, and there's a teens one as well, and they all vary slightly for the age bracket. So I've made them language specific and experience specific. But I know your daughter is still in the kids moving into the teens. Yeah. But I've got a whole bunch of extra goodies that are bonuses that come only with the journals, including 2 different types of meditations, one for adults and one for kids and teens. It's a 5-minute guided meditation, a gratitude gains appreciation, so that you can relax into a state to be able to guide you through thinking of a couple of key things to get you started. So you can get at least your 3 things a day, right? At least 1 of each, but ideally 3 of each. If you can get into that pattern, that's amazing. But I've got my Joy in a Jar activity pack, the kit, that
Nice.
with all of the, and these are things you can do with your family. So you can have those questions in those games. It comes with a whole bunch of prompts, as well as if you can see this, let me share this with you. Hang on. Well, it's got blank prompts for all the different gratitude gains and appreciation, but I've also got 50 each of them that you can just cut out and ask each other. So you don't have to. I'm handling that objection if I don't know what to think about. Well, start here. And you can help do that one. The other thing I've got is GGA daily checklists. And again, 2 different ones for adults versus kids, because there's slightly different variations. A gratitude gains appreciation goal setting worksheet, so you can use it with a difference in how to set your goals using the GGA as your guiding principle. And then also the gratitude gains appreciation vision board kit. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So you get to do that with your daughter, and it helps. And anyone who wants to get the journals, they can get those bonuses. They're inside the journals with the link. Don't pay any more for them, they're included. It's just that the book would have got so thick if I put them in the book. And people, you got a journal to do certain practices, but then there's extra bits as well. There's a bunch more goodies as well that are in there that are for that unity experience in your family, whether you've got 1, 2 of you, or whether it's a big family of 7 or 8, or community, or maybe a homeschool group or school group. But I really want to get this GGA out. That's my mission, because it's such a simple principle.
Yes.
And it's free. Like, the principle is free.
Yes.
And it has so many extraordinary benefits. When you feel good, you experience more goodness in the world, you become a better version of yourself, you're a better human, you attract better possibilities and opportunities. I like to say you open up portals of possibility, and you magnetize more things to be grateful for, and you recognize more of the gains in yourself and others. You appreciate yourself and others more. We all understand this concept around, with a house, for example, if it appreciates, it goes up in value. If it depreciates, it goes down in value. Well, the same is true with your life. When you appreciate what you've got in your life, it goes up in value. When you don't pay attention, or you're entitled, or you're grumpy about it, or you're not appreciative, well, then it goes down in value. And that affects, the only person it affects ultimately is ourselves.
Definitely.
So, it's something I'm so excited about. Are you excited too with all the
It is exciting.
I talked about these years ago, and they just went, yep, I'm coming out now. Okay. So I really hope that anyone watching this is really enjoying this experience from Martine and the banter that we've got going on. And I encourage you that when it becomes available, I'm not sure when I'm putting this video out, so when if it goes out before the launch on July 22nd, get ready. You can get it from Amazon when it goes live. And I will be doing a launch party. So if this does go out before before the launch happens, I will be doing a bit of a fun online live launch party that includes a couple of giveaways and just fun. It's actually on my birthday, July 22. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to have cake and balloons and a bit of a party and celebrate this. And I just want to say thank you, Martine, because it's been really incredible.
Thank you.
And I've witnessed the joy in your own journey.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Any parting thoughts?
No, just that it's been quite a journey indeed. Yes.
Excellent.
But then it's all amazing on the other end, so to say.
Definitely. GGA every day. Hashtag.
Yes.
GGA every day.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, for the video, I want to say thank you. I'll stay on the thing with you, but I'm going to end the video and say thank you so much, Martine. And
thank you.
Everybody else, make sure that you, when it's available, Amazon, GGA Journal, Gratitude Gains Appreciation Journal. There'll be one for adults, one for kids, and one for teens. And stay tuned because there's also a GGA book coming out. There's lots. So thanks again. I really appreciate you, Martine.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, let me say something that I need to edit in. You'll be like, yeah, I'm more relaxed now, and you say this perler of a thing. Well, it's right. You were going to say it's really good, especially now because
because it was all true. Like, and it yeah. When I think of it, like the difference it has made.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes, because when you do it, you don't think about it as such.
Yep.
You just do it, but then we actually sit and reflect back on all those. Because the other day, when I go back to my very first couple, although there's still a lot of the same things coming through, so I don't feel like I have changed so much in what I'm grateful for, but it just keeps coming in that way.
It just makes you value life a lot more and just everything in it.
Yes.
Which really is so good. I mean, I know for me personally as well, I mean, I actually have a life-saving moment with the whole gratitude concept. And back when I was 21 years old, I had been cheated on by my partner with my then best friend. So it was a double betrayal. And I felt like my whole world crumbled down around me. I was at uni studying, of all things, psychology. And I'm like, goodness me, I need a new place to live because my partner's just cheated on me with my best friend. Anyway, I found a roommate through the psychology department at uni and moved in. And I hid away for months. I even skipped many of my sessions. But I just went to this place, dark place, mentally, and I wasn't in a good place at all. And there was one period of the day that actually kept me motivated. And this was many years ago. I'm nearly 49, and so 21. At the time I loved Oprah, and I lived for Oprah at 1 p.m. on the telly, and so I'd watch that 1 hour of Oprah because I felt like she inspired me and got me back on my feet a little bit, at least for that 1 hour. Granted, I'd probably be stuffing my face with chocolate or drinking wine in the afternoon, but at least I was connecting with Oprah. Remember, I was in a dark place. And I'll never forget this one episode where she talked about writing down 5 things she's grateful for in a journal. And that was my shift. Because I'm like, okay, so I went down to the local IGA, the supermarket, grabbed more food to eat and a journal. I was still depressed, but I was doing both, right? and I started this practice of writing down things I was grateful for. It was tough at first. In fact, I remember some of my entries being grateful for the box of wine that I was able to buy, for the candy from the, that I could buy. So, happily stuffing my face with the emotion suppressing, but at least I was being grateful for it, right? That's my start. That's where I was. And as I moved out of that and my life had, all of us, we all have challenges. Some of us have some pretty extraordinary challenges. I think it's pretty rare when people don't. But we can tend to think that we're isolated and that we're the only one going through this drama or tragedy or whatever. But I think when we actually connect with people and realize, wow, everybody's got their story. But as I moved into maturity with an emotional maturity with it, I still had my challenges, but I moved into manifesting more. And on one of my bucket lists was like, I had this dream. I didn't think it'd ever come through. This, girl from Perth, Western Australia, Oprah in Chicago. And I thought, God, it'd be nice one day to actually thank her and tell her my story.
Nice.
Well, when I retired from being a paramedic and I decided to spend 4 years traveling the world, I ended up in the States, living in the States for 2 years, and I had an opportunity to fly to Chicago, funny enough, July 4th weekend. Oh my God, as we film this, it's July the 5th.
Wow.
Yeah, right. I'd flown from Texas to Chicago. I'd gone on a 4-day date with a wonderful man who's still a good friend of mine. And I really wanted to go to the Oprah studios, but it turns out that they were closed. And so I thought, oh my God, I'm so close. And I was a bit naive, thinking I could have just rocked up anyway, but you apparently have to buy tickets a long time in advance.
Yeah.
But they were closed, alas. Anyway, so that was back in 2008. And I kind of let go of the attachment to this dream. And then in December of 2015, the Oprah came to Perth and I'd secured 2 VIP tickets. And my seat was the frontmost center of the stadium. I was literally at her feet. And being in the VIP, there was the opportunity that there was quite a few of us, about 100. There was 3 people that were going to be picked on the night, because it was the pre-event, the VIP, to ask a question. And I set my intention to be one of those people. And I was picked.
Yay.
And I forget the question. It was something related. I put it out on Facebook. I said, listen, if I get to ask her a question, what would you recommend I ask? And I think it was referencing like that, were there any regrets, whatever. But I don't remember the question so much. What I remembered was having the courage when I stood up to, as quickly as I said, share with her that gratitude story of when I was 21 and how that gratitude episode saved my life, because it literally did. It literally did. And it really touched her, it touched everybody in the room. And then during the main event, she ended up saying publicly, and gratitude will literally save your life, just as Katie Joy shared with us before the event. And I had my phone on silent, but it was vibrating. I realized in that moment how many of people I knew in Perth and my clients who were in the arena, because my phone just goes, was that you, Katie Joy? And I'm like, yeah. But I actually got a moment during that VIP experience to hold her hand and thank her and appreciate her. And regardless of, I think now in 2024, we kind of, some of us have a lot more awareness. Regardless of what we think, I still am very grateful of that moment and that opportunity for that gift of energy, of life back and a refocus. And it felt fun to be able to manifest that experience that I never thought would actually become true and be possible. And here she was in my own backyard.
Wow. That's
Cool story about gratitude and manifesting. Yeah. I'm glad I hit record again because we caught this one. Told you all the good stuff. I turned the recording off, and then you were starting to say, "Oh no, let's hit the record," because you're about to go say some perlers. So thank you. That was fun to capture this extra bit to go with the rest of it. I might put this bit out as a teaser.
Nice.
So would you recommend everyone go out and get a GGA journal?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And do it and stick with it.
Stick with it. Make it.
And then it becomes a habit.
Yes. Definitely. And with the launch, there'll be a special launch price as well. It won't be available on Kindle because it's a journal. You don't, that's weird.
Yeah, because you can't really write on it.
No, it's weird. So you want to physically, and the whole point is to have it by your bed, so that if you have that moment, you go, "Oh, I haven't done it yet." You flick the light on, you put the pen down, and you start writing.
Right there.
And it's right there. And like, now I can go to bed peacefully and calmly and calm. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Excellent. Wasn't that great? Did you get a lot of value out of that? If so, let me know down below. Hit the like. Please, if you're not a subscriber yet, hit subscribe and you'll be notified of more episodes and great content available to you. And, let me know in a comment down below. Do you use a gratitude practice? Are you excited about the GGA practice? Really excited about the launch. So stay tuned. And thank you for subscribing, because I know that this community is growing and I appreciate every single one of you. So until next time, lots of love, light, and manifesting miracles, magic, and more. From my heart to yours. Bye for now.